Hey guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate. We did a Halloween special episode a while back where we looked at spooky album covers, which was a lot of fun. And so, figured why not do a Christmas episode? And I don't know, by now you're probably sick of all the Christmas music. I kind of like it. Although, it bothers me that we have backed it up now to, you start hearing this stuff late October, mid October, something like that. I mean, Halloween hadn't even happened, Thanksgiving hadn't even hit. I'm kind of old school in that, I don't want to see, hear, think about anything Christmas until Black Friday, right? The day after Thanksgiving, and then all that stuff can come out. But they have pushed it back and pushed it back. Anyway, let's talk a little. I've got some Christmas stuff here, so let's talk about it. I guess I'll go ahead and start with my two favorites. Well, I guess we can do a top two, and then I'm just going to show you everything else. I'm not, I can't rank the rest of this stuff, but I do have like two clear favorites for me. One would be the Vince Guaraldi or Giraldi. Sometimes I say Giraldi, sometimes it's Guaraldi. I'm not sure which. The Vince Guaraldi trio. Obviously, the music from the Charlie Brown special. Now I have it on this picture disc here. I'm not a huge picture disc fan, but this just happens to be the copy that I bought. But yeah, just I mean, you guys know this stuff. I mean, fabulous jazz trio. If you're a jazz fan, I mean, whether you enjoy the holidays or not, I mean, this is so great. Obviously, the Linus and Lucy and all that, but just fantastic stuff. Now, that's my runner up. But my number one, my very favorite Christmas album, and again, I go traditional. Nat King Cole's The Christmas Song. This has come out in lots of different versions. Here's a CD version, kind of a more of a deluxe. Actually, this on CD, it's great, or this booklet at least, because there's a long essay talking about these sessions in there. And you see this in lots of different orders and versions, but it's basically these sessions here. And I mean, again, aside from Christmas, I mean, Nat King Cole, one of the greatest jazz singers there ever was, and so to have his beautiful voice on these songs, yeah, this. I usually kind of put this on to kick off the season. Again, I don't allow myself to put this on until the day after Thanksgiving. It's sort of the official, start putting up all the decorations and the tree and everything. But yeah, Nat King Cole. Let's see what else we got here. Well, you got to take Bing Crosby's classics. I mean, it was a White Christmas, of course. Now this is cool. This particular album here, because the last track on here is the Peace on Earth, Little Drummer Boy duet of the unlikely duet of Bing Crosby and David Bowie from 1977. So that's kind of cool that that's on here. What else we got? Well, and of course, two from my childhood, and I was able to pass on enthusiasm to my two daughters with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, of course, narrated by and one of the reasons I love this so much, aside from music, I'm also kind of a film aficionado, and I love the classic horror films, especially the Universal horror films, Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr., and of course Boris Karloff. And as you know, Boris Karloff is the one who narrates, the original cartoon, and then of course it's on here as well. And so it's just kind of great to have the monster and the Grinch, So I've always been a big fan of the Grinch. Good stuff. Haven't been a fan of a lot of the more recent film versions, but I mean, stick with the original. And of course, the Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which I've always been a fan of the Rankin Bass stuff, The the kind of stop motion, that they used in those. I don't know. It's just there's nothing really that looks like that stuff. And of course, Rudolph's the most famous. That whole series of those. It's interesting. I did some research. The only two surviving little figures, from the original show, was the Santa and Rudolph. It's a fascinating story, actually. This lady who was like a secretary at the company, when the company folded or whatever, they were just throwing these props out, in the trash or whatever. And so she took all of the figures from the original Rudolph and just like put them in her attic. Forgot about it. I think she had some nephews and nieces later on, and she pulled them out and let them play. It's like toys or whatever. From what I understand, all of them basically melted in her attic, except for the Rudolph and the Santa. And the only reason was I think one of her nephews or whatever, took them down and was playing with them, just like his toys. And this woman's, I think, son finally kind of figured out what they were and took them to an auction. Was it early 2000s? And they were appraised at however many thousands of dollars. And finally, I looked this up. So 2020, the Santa and the Rudolph have been restored, and they sold for $370,000. They're now in Atlanta at some puppet museum. Interesting stuff. All right, just gonna wrapping it up here. Let me kind of show you the rest. The rest I've got on CD, but I've got some interesting CDs. Now there was a period, probably in the mid '90s to the early 2000s or mid 2000s, where I committed to I was going to buy one Christmas album a year and try and make it kind of offbeat and interesting. So I did start buying some stuff. I don't know. But then I kind of realized I'm not that big of a fan of the Christmas music, so I just stopped. But I do have a little stack of CDs here. Yeah, I showed you Bing Crosby. Here is a Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra combo here. Looks like I was kind of into you know, the Rat Pack and swinging stuff here, because here is Christmas with the Rat Pack. Here is a Bachelor Pad Christmas. Kind of, it's lounge versions of Christmas classics. And if you guys ever listen to the Squirrel Nut Zippers, and you remember there was that. When was that? It's in the '90s at some point, where there's that resurgent. It's in in kind of the big band swing stuff. The Squirrel Nut Zippers were kind of one of those groups that was sort of a part of that resurgence. But here's a Christmas Caravan album of theirs. Here's Christmas Jump and Jive, Christmas classics from the war years. It claims here songs that won the war. You realize Christmas music won World War II, but apparently so. All right, getting down to my neck of the woods, Texas. Here's Christmas on the Border, a spicy holiday recipe of Texas blues, hot country, and Mexican salsa. There you go. And here's a group called Tarona, which it says Andean Christmas. Actually, this one's, honestly, I haven't listened to a lot of these in so long, but this one was cool because it's kind of the Incan music, the Andean traditions with the flutes and stuff. I remember this being really pretty, but I haven't put it on in years. And you got to have Elvis, right? Got to have Elvis and Blue Christmas, which is the one you always hear. But here's a whole album of Elvis singing Christmas tunes. Elvis's Christmas. You want to go a little modern, or more modern than Elvis? How about Billy Idol? Happy Holidays. There he is. I was really excited when I saw this. I thought this is going to be awesome. And I bought it. It's not as awesome as you think it might be, because he doesn't do his, rebel yell voice, which is actually what I was hoping. I mean, that would be fun, if he sang these songs in the style of Billy Idol, but he actually does them really straight, kind of subdued. He's a good singer, but it's like, if you're going to pick something up that says Billy Idol, Happy Holidays, you want the Billy Idol anyway. It's not nearly as fun as it should be. The Temptations, of course, Give Love at Christmas, a classic. They do a lot more of them. And I don't know, kind of reaching, well, now Mormon and Tabernacle Choir. Actually, it is gorgeous stuff if you want more traditional things here. And the rest of this stuff, there's no way I paid for this. Dillard's presents the Christmas collection. I guess it's stuff they play in the store or whatever. An acoustic Christmas, that's nice. Christmas guitar, that's very nice. And then you get to the comedy stuff, Christmas comedy classics, volume 2. I don't have volume 1. Let's see. And then finally, if you want to like reach the bottom of the barrel, I think I only listened to one track off of this once, just for the novelty factor. But Jingle Cats, where they actually take cats meowing at different tones and then combine them in Christmas songs. It is as irritating as you would imagine. All right, guys. Well, Merry Christmas, like I said. Hope you guys have a good one. We will be back, of course, next week on our regular schedule. It's been a few weeks since we've done a year, so we gotta come at you with 1975 coming up, a great year. And then on Thursday, I will probably do that Tuesday. Then Thursday, I'm real excited about Thursday's show. People accuse me, I think rightfully so, of being stuck in the past. But I am going to feature a relatively new artist on Thursday, so that'll be fun. That'll be cool. Oops, I think I just slammed on the mic there. I bet that sounded interesting. Yeah, so that's what we'll do next week. And yeah, like I said, have a Merry Christmas. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!